Fruitful weight reduction doesn't expect individuals to follow a particular eating routine arrangement, like Thinning World or Atkins. All things considered, they should zero in on eating less calories and moving more to accomplish a negative energy balance. Weight reduction is essentially reliant on decreasing the all-out admission of calories, not changing the extents of carbohydrate, fat, and protein in the eating regimen. A sensible weight reduction objective to begin seeing medical advantages is a 5–10% reduction in body weight over a 6-month time span. The vast majority can accomplish this objective by decreasing their complete calorie admission to some place in the scope of 1,000 to 1,600 calories each day. An eating routine of less than 1,000 calories each day won't give adequate daily nutrition. Following a half-year of consuming less calories, the pace of weight reduction normally decays, and body weight watches out for levels since individuals utilize less energy at a lower body weight. Following a weight support program of stimulating dietary patterns and standard active work is the most ideal approach to try not to recapture shed pounds. Individuals who have a BMI equivalent to or higher than 30 with no heftiness-related medical conditions may profit by assuming remedy weight reduction drugs. These might likewise be appropriate for individuals with a BMI equivalent to or higher than 27 with corpulence-related infections. Nonetheless, an individual should just utilize drugs to help the above way of life changes. In the event that endeavors to shed pounds are fruitless and an individual's BMI arrives at 40 or over, careful treatment is an alternative. 1. Eat only when hungry. On a low-carb diet you should mean to eat when hungry also, in case you're not ravenous. Try not to eat much of the time. Eating more food than you need to remain fulfilled will hinder weight reduction. This, truth be told, is essential to the point that it merits its very own segment. Breaking point: superfluous eating. Superfluous nibbling can be an issue on a keto diet too. A few things are not difficult to eat in light of the fact that they're delectable and promptly accessible. Here are 3 regular traps to look out for on a keto or low-carb diet. Dairy products such as cream and cheeses. They function admirably in cooking, as they fulfill. In any case, issues emerge when you're chomping a ton of cheddar before the television at night, without being ravenous. Be cautious with that. Another issue may be having heaps of cream with dessert, when you're very full and simply continue to eat in light of the fact that it tastes great. Another normal guilty party is heaps of substantial cream in the espresso, quite often. Nuts: it's extremely simple to eat until the nuts are gone, paying little heed to how full you are. A tip: agreeing to science, salted nuts are harder to quit eating than unsalted nuts. Salted nuts entice you to really indulging. Great to know. Another tip: try not to carry the whole sack to the love seat, ideally pick a little bowl. All things considered. By and by, I regularly eat all the nuts before me, if I'm ravenous. Low-carb preparing: regardless of whether you're just utilizing almond flour and sugars, eating on prepared products and treats ordinarily gives extra eating when you're not eager, and indeed, this will hinder weight reduction. Don't hesitate to skip suppers. Do you need to have breakfast? Exploration has affirmed that the appropriate response is no. Try not to eat in case you're not eager. Also, this goes for any feast. On an exacting keto diet, the craving and inclination to eat will in general diminish a ton, particularly in the event that you have abundance weight to lose. Your body may be happily burning your fat stores, diminishing the need to eat. In the event that this occurs, be glad. Try not to battle it by eating food you don't need. All things being equal, trust that the appetite will return before you eat once more. This will save you both time and cash, while accelerating your weight reduction. A few group dread that they will let completely go in the event that they don't eat at regular intervals. The worry that this desire to gorge will blow their weight control plans totally drives them to fanatically nibble constantly. This consistent eating might be vital to control the appetite, and longing for that may emerge during an eating regimen high in sugar and bland carbs, yet it's usually superfluous on a keto diet. Yearning will just gradually return, and you ought to have a lot of time to get ready food or snatch a tidbit. 2. Decrease your feelings of anxiety. Stress can make you acquire tummy fat by setting off the adrenal organs to deliver cortisol, which is otherwise called the pressure chemical. Exploration shows that high cortisol levels increment craving and drive stomach fat stockpiling. 19 trusted source, 20 trusted source. In addition, ladies who as of now have an enormous midsection will in general create more cortisol accordingly to stress. Expanded cortisol further adds to fat addition around the center. 21 trusted source. To help decrease midsection fat, participate in pleasurable exercises that mitigate stress. Practicing yoga or contemplation can be viable techniques. 3. Start strength preparing. Strength preparing is a sort of activity that expects you to get your muscles against obstruction. It develops bulk and builds fortitude. Most generally, strength preparing involves lifting weights to acquire muscle over the long run. Examination has discovered strength preparing to have numerous medical advantages, particularly with regards to copying fat. In one examination, strength preparing diminished instinctive fat in 78 individuals with metabolic syndrome. Visceral fat is a sort of perilous fat that encompasses the organs in the gut. One trusted source. Another examination showed that 12 weeks of solidarity preparing matched with oxygen-consuming activity was more viable at diminishing muscle versus fat and gut fat than vigorous exercise alone. Opposition preparing may likewise help protect sans fat mass, which can expand the quantity of calories your body consumes very still as indicated by one survey. 10 weeks of opposition preparing could help increment calories consumed very still by 7% and may lessen fat load by 4 pounds 1.8 kilograms. Doing body weight works out, lifting loads or utilizing exercise center hardware are a couple of simple approaches to begin with strength preparing. 4. Crush in more rest. Hitting the hay somewhat prior or setting your morning timer somewhat later can help support fat consuming and forestall weight acquire. A few investigations have discovered a relationship between getting enough sleep and weight reduction. One investigation of 68,183 ladies showed that the individuals who dozed 5 or less hours out of every night over a time of 16 years were bound to put on weight than the individuals who dozed for more than 7 hours out of each night. Another examination showed that better rest quality and getting at any rate 7 hours of rest each night improved the probability of effective weight reduction by 33% in 245 ladies selected a 6-month Get Healthy plan. Other examination shows that an absence of rest may add to modifications in hunger chemicals, expanded craving and a higher danger of heftiness. In spite of the fact that everybody needs an alternate measure of rest, most examinations have discovered that getting in any event 7 hours of rest each night is related with the most advantages with regards to body weight. Adhere to a normal rest plan, limit your admission of caffeine and limit your utilization of electronic gadgets before bed to help uphold a solid rest cycle. 5. Stay away from sugar and sugar-improved beverages. Food sources with added sugars are terrible for your well-being. Eating a great deal of these kinds of food can cause weight acquire. Studies show that additional sugar has extraordinarily destructive consequences for metabolic well-being. Various examinations have demonstrated that abundance sugar, generally because of the huge sums of fructose, can prompt fat structure up around your mid-region and liver. 6. Sugar is half glucose and half fructose. At the point when you eat a great deal of added sugar, the liver gets overburdened with fructose and is compelled to transform it into fat. Some accept that this is the fundamental interaction behind sugar's destructive consequences for well-being. It builds stomach fat and liver fat, which leads to insulin resistance and different metabolic issues. Fluid sugar is more awful in such manner. The cerebrum doesn't appear to enroll fluid calories similarly as strong calories, so when you drink sugar-improved refreshments, you wind up eating more absolute calories. An examination saw that youngsters were 60% bound to create stoutness with each extra day-by-day serving of sugar-improved drinks. Have a go at limiting the measure of sugar in your eating regimen and consider totally killing sweet beverages. This incorporates sugar-improved refreshments, sweet soft drinks, organic product juices, and different high-sugar sports drinks. Peruse the names to ensure items don't contain refined sugars. Indeed, even food sources promoted as well-being food sources can contain critical measures of sugar. Remember that none of this applies to entire organic product, which are incredibly solid and have a lot of fiber that mitigates the negative impacts of fructose. 6. Track your food admission. The vast majority realize that what you eat is significant, yet many don't know explicitly the thing they're eating. An individual may believe they're eating a high-protein or low-carb diet, yet without following along, it's not difficult to overestimate or think little of food admission. Following food consumption doesn't mean you need to gauge and quantify all that you eat. Following admissions sometimes for a couple of days straight can assist you with understanding the main zones for change. Preparing can assist you with accomplishing explicit objectives, for example, boosting your protein admission to 25 to 30% of calories or eliminating undesirable carbs. 7. Participate in customary active work and exercise. Standard exercise is imperative for both physical and mental well-being. Expanding the recurrence of active work in a trained and intentional manner is regularly essential for effective weight reduction. 1 hour of moderate force action each day, like lively strolling, is ideal. In the event that 1 hour out of every day is absurd, the Mayo Clinic proposes that an individual should focus on a base of 150 minutes every week. Individuals who are not ordinarily genuinely dynamic ought to gradually expand the measure of activity that they do and progressively increment its force. This methodology is the most maintainable approach to guarantee that normal exercise turns into a piece of their way of life. Similarly, that suppers can mentally assist with weight reduction, individuals may likewise profit by monitoring their active work. Numerous free portable applications are accessible that track an individual's calorie balance after they log their food admission and exercise. In the event that the possibility of a full exercise appears to be scaring to somebody who is new to work out, they can start by doing the accompanying exercises to expand their activity levels. Using the stairwell, raking leaves, strolling a canine, planting, moving, playing open-air games, stopping farther away from a structure entrance. People who have a generally safe of coronary illness are probably not going to require clinical evaluation in front of beginning an activity routine. Nonetheless, earlier clinical assessment might be prudent for certain individuals, including those with diabetes. Any individual who is uncertain about safe degrees of activity ought to address a medical services proficient.